funnel optimization, whatever, this operational things that needs to be done. And usually I'm a typical visionary by nature. So, and I also always had this role in companies. And when you understand this, you have clarity. This is what I wanted. This is what I have fun. This is what I'm really good at, right? So today I'm the mentor of the CEOs of my companies. So I'm no longer operational, and my value contribution helping the CEOs to make better decisions in my companies is so much higher than if I would be the CEO myself. And to understand this means clarity. To try to ignore it and to compensate it with more activity and more engagement is usually what I see around me.
It's that, I mean, we talk about self-awareness a lot in leadership. I think this is a really great example of it at like the top level of a business, which we maybe don't touch on so much. But like knowing yourself well enough to recognize these things is one thing. And then, as we've said, like being able to set aside the ego long enough to actually act on that knowledge, I think that's the real trick of it, isn't it? And I think that's why it's quite rare.
You answer this couple of questions, you get a first version. These are really my core values. These are not the core values I should have. These are really my core values. This is my priorities in life. Is my family more important than financial independence? Yes or no? Is my health more important than my family? Is my whatever kind of answer a couple of these questions. What is actually giving me energy? Right? What is, the more I do it, the more energy I get. Instead of the more I do it, the more vacation I need. Kind of, no, what gives me energy? What is my purpose in life? What is driving me, right? What version of myself do I want to become, right? Do I want to become a charismatic leader? Do I want to become kind of the inner peace, Buddha-like, whatever? Do I want to become what is how healthy, what is a person kind of, and answering all these questions, there are systems for it, systems optimized for decades. LifePilot is, so many people worked on LifePilot so that the questions get easier and easier and easier to answer. There's even an app around it. Have a couple of hours, just follow the process and you get clarity. And once you have clarity for yourself, just use the system. I mean, who would now try to invent a new sales system? I mean, there are so many sales systems out there, right? Kind of just take one and implement it. And once it's running well, maybe you customize it a little bit, but you will not, who would now invent a new engineering system, right? For whatever production or software development, right? Kind of these systems are available, just use systems, right? There is so much intelligence from thousands of people who have already worked on this and made the systems better and better and better. So with LifePilot, for example, you get a so-called flight plan, a founder's you have a flight plan, and this flight plan gives you decision filters. We founders, we make dozens of decisions every single day, right? Small decisions, but also very, very big decisions. And many of these decisions have long-term impact. And how can you make these decisions without having any guidance? And then you also become a good leader. Since in the end, we don't build up companies, we build up teams, right? And the teams realize it, right? And what is a good leader? A good leader is someone who really serves the ones around them to multiply their potentials. And this requires stability. This requires that even in one of my early companies, there was a great board member, and this board member, I'm not sure, the shit hit the fan. I'm not sure if this is allowed to say in such a good podcast.
No, we've had worse. Don't worry about it.
Foreigner, so my English is not so good, so therefore
we'll let you off. Yeah.
Say something.
It's a lot better than my any language.
So, and even if things were really, really difficult, he stayed calm and he was so stable. He always brought us back. Why we're here? What is our long-term big, hairy, audacious goal? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What does it mean for the company in 3 years? And then it was kind of having this clarity, having this, right? And this makes a good leader. Being stable, being emotionally stable, being clear, being kind of giving everyone the support, and then our teams will make better decisions than we could ever imagine. Every decision has consequences for our companies, for our teams, for our families, for our finance, for our, right? We cannot even quit job. I mean, we are, right? Kind of, it's difficult to have the majority of people, I mean, they want to have respect, or they want to be, they want to be also rewarded or acknowledged for their achievements and so on. This is what they want to have. They also want to, whatever, the feeling that they learn or that they multiply their potentials, but always to a certain extent, right? Kind of, if really, if the sales number drops and the cost is going up and cash gets thin and other pressures come, right? It's so convenient to say, let's wait until the one at the top is deciding. And the more a business is founder-centric or a CEO-centric, however you call it, owner-centric, the more our limitations as founders become limitations of the organization.